the Ashes of Creation Week 4 Alpha 2 test went probably as you expected. It's still fun, they're fixing bugs, we're still learning more about the game, and we ran into a duping issue.
No! No!
Yeah, so that's always fun. So let's chat about that, the recent updates, and today, Ashes of Creation just announced that they are going to be doing a live stream development update next Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. So let's be thankful. So starting off with duplication. Now we know obviously this is a terrible thing, but I think the thing that Intrepid Studios has going for them right now is the fact that this is an alpha. And sure, it could ruin the experience for the people playing the Alpha 2, but this is literally why we are in the Alpha. So I'm not saying it's not a big deal, because it is a pretty huge deal, but at the same time, we need to give them that time so they can work through these things. Now, if we were to launch with something like this, let's say the way New World did, then obviously that is going to be a very groundbreaking feature for this video game. Fortunately for them, we are going to be in Alpha 2 until 2038.
What is blood yapping about?
So they should have more than enough time. Now, personally, this is just my personal take. I'm not expecting this to be fixed. I don't want to say anytime soon, but I mean, with phase 2 coming up, I think it should be fixed before phase 2, but at the same time, we still have a month until we get into phase 2. So I wouldn't doubt if it took them maybe a weekend or two to get this in the bag. Now, if your question is, how long should it take them? That's gonna vary, right? What we can do is we can look at their track record for fixing bugs this past month. And what I can personally say is each week has improved greatly. So do I think it'll take them to phase 3 or even up to phase 2 to fix this? Not at all. Do I think it'll be fixed before phase 2? 100%. Do I think it'll be fixed for next week? I hope so, but I mean, I'm not too sure. I don't know how hard this is to fix. I think since duplication was such a big thing when it came to New World, people automatically associate anything that is remotely close with that with that. Now, I don't think Ashes of Creation is going to turn out the same way that New World did, but I will say for the sake of their game and for the sake of the community, they have to figure this out as soon as possible. Can you guys just give me a second? I'm getting a call. Hello? Yeah? They fixed it. They already fixed it. Like, what I'm talking about right now, they already fixed it. That's lit. You're lying. I guess they fixed the duping glitch already. So the 2 points that I want to talk about regarding the PTR updates are the dupes, clearly, right? And then the mobs that change and the Citadel of the Steel Bloom depending on the time of day. So just to wrap up the conversation regarding the duplication glitch, I think that when you look at everything Intrepid is about, again, you have to look at actions. And I think that's true for any single company, right? People say whatever they want, but you're going to look at how they're implementing those things. And with week 4 testing ending on September 17th, that was Sunday, they updated these patch notes on November 19th, which was Tuesday. Now, again, I don't know how long it takes to fix these things, but I mean, apparently it takes 2 days for Intrepid to fix them, right? So I think this says a lot about their commitment to the game and to the community, which is exactly what we're looking for. If something like this were to persist and go on for longer than it should have, I think we would have been in trouble and you would have been seeing a ton of doomer takes, right? But I think with them nipping it in the bud right now continues to reassure everyone, and we can just move on with business as usual. Going back to my other point regarding the Citadel of Steel Bloom mobs that change during on the time of day, I think this is beautiful. This is going to continue to up the immersion for the game. Now, I know a lot of you were like, yo, if you want to grind, go to Citadel of the Steel Bloom, look for the bears. And yo, them bears were giving mad XP, which is pretty lit, right? So I mean, if they're changing that now, rough. Kinda should have got it while you could have. But I think for the longevity of the game and what people actually want out of an MMO, this is actually ideal. because this is going to change how you grind. It's going to change how you interact with certain mobs. It's going to change the kit that you're using. And now, of course, I don't think you're going to have to change your kit so much to the point where it's a completely different build, but you're going to have to think a bit more when you're going into the world, depending on the mobs that they are putting in those areas. I think anything that changes your experience with the world and how you interact with the world, especially in an MMO, is great, because this is exactly what you're looking for. Something different every single time you log in. So now that we've talked about duping, some of the PTR updates, let's move forward. And what better way to move forward than with a live stream development update? Now, this is the first one that we're getting since the release of Alpha 2. And Intrepid is talking about showing us an upcoming gameplay feature that's gonna be in Phase 2. So what could it be? So let's pull up the image for Phase 2 and see what we're gonna get, right? We know the Sandsquall Desert and the Vandegar Tropics are both gonna be expanded. That's amazing. We also know that we're gonna get 2 new unique node layouts. Now again, I heard some people talking about how some things look the same and they were comparing it to New World. I think this is gonna put a lot of that stuff at ease, because now that we're moving forward with Ashes of Creation, and as the game continues to flesh itself out, I think people are gonna see the game for what it truly is, and they're gonna start to respect it as a game that's in its own lane. We know that we're getting 2 new races, the Veyloon and the Dunair. That's gonna be exciting because people always love to create crazy things in the character creator. So more options are never a bad thing. Now, I think when it comes down to the archetype, this is going to be the main draw for Phase 2. I know so many people who are fighters, who are playing a spec that they don't want to play because they are waiting for the Rogue. The Rogue is a fan favorite class, and people are foaming at the mouth to play this class. Now, it would be dope if we saw a sneak peek at this, but I don't think that's happening. So we can just kind of tuck that away and move on. We know that we're getting the 4 new weapons, the dual wield daggers, the scepters, 2-hand mace, 2-handed axe. It'd be cool if we saw these things, and it might be a possibility that we do, but I don't think it'll be a ton of hype surrounding that. When it comes to the systems, my top 3 picks for what they could show would be siege vehicles, animal husbandry breeding, or player shops. The reason I say siege vehicles is because I failed to mention that also in Phase 2, we're going to be getting node sieges, vassalship, and node death. So now, with nodes becoming a even bigger part of our time in Vera, siege vehicles are going to be a huge thing that the player base is looking forward to. A lot of people out there just want any reason to start war. And if they can use a vehicle to help them accomplish their goal, that's gonna make for some great and fun gameplay. Animal husbandry has been a fan favorite in the Ashes of Creation community for a hot minute. We are all dying to see what we're able to do with this system here. So us finally getting an animal husbandry type stream would hype up Phase 2 that much more. This is also the last stream before Phase 2. Player shops are another cool immersive feature that I know the community has been asking for. So it would be nice to really see more about that as well, especially with how it currently is for getting drops, craftable items, all of that stuff. It would be a nice added addition to what we're already doing. When it comes to the content piece in Phase 2, the biggest thing that I think is there is the dynamic world dungeons. But I personally don't think they're gonna use their time to focus on dynamic world dungeons. I feel like one of the systems would be a much more smarter choice. And that has been week 4 going into week 5, man. Intrepid is staying on top of their game. I feel like everything feels really good with Ashes of Creation. I'm loving the way everything is coming along, and I'm really gearing up for Phase 2, as that's when the game is gonna be open 5+ days. So I'm not a fan of Phase 1. I know you guys know this. The restricted playing time, it's pretty whack. It kind of forces you to focus on something, which I'm not a fan of, but we're helping them test, so it's all good. Recently hit level 20, so we're gonna do our best to hit 25, man. If you're looking for a guild, come rock out with Memorandum. You can apply in the description below. If you haven't created an Ashes of Creation account yet, feel free to use my link in the description. If you want to stay up to date with me, feel free to follow me on X and Twitch, where I stream every weekend. Alpha 2. So crazy to say that, man. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.